Welcome student. Now we studied about the HPA axis in central stress response system, general adaptation syndrome and the transaction model of stress. These topics contain three topics, subtopics in this one. This is important to you. In university examination, a question, one question or two question comes from the university examination questions. You will study it well. Stress and health. Stress is the non-specific response of the body to any demand made upon it. This definition given by Ansel. Failing grades, scary movie, even positive events in your life such as graduation, new job, it became stress. It became you some stress. Stress activates the autonomic nervous system rapidly. Stress activates the hypothalamus, pituitary and adrenal axis more slowly. Both systems have major effect on health and well-being. In short term reaction to stress, level of responsiveness, sympathetic nervous system easily triggered, hostile heart syndrome, tense impatient, road rage causes 4 times more accidents than drunk driving. Executive monkey, some of the Brady experiment, pair of monkeys, both would get shock. One monkey could press bar to avoid shock for him and is yoke control. Monkeys with active bar called active monkey, other monkey in pair called passive. One monkey of pair likely to get ulcers. Which one? We can next slide. Brady's experiment. Active monkey is on the left. Press lever to avoid shock. Passive monkey is on the right. Pressing the lever does not affect shock delivery. Brady's mistake. Brady found executive active monkey got more ulcers. First monkey to learn task active attempt to replicate yield the opposite result. Passive monkeys get ulcer. Passive monkeys lack control over situation. More stressful if you have no control over occurrence of stress. Reducing the effect of stress. Stress is less harmful if have some control, even if just belief. Predictable going to feel a little pinch. Know the duration. Coping mechanism. Some way to relieve stress. Positive attitude. Active participant in process. Long term stress. What if stress continue from months of years? Stressful occupation, air traffic controllers. Whether stress is real or imagined does not matter to the brain and body. Respond in the same way. Brain activates the adrenal cortex. Brain and adrenal cortex. Hypothalamus, releasing factor, anterior pituitary, the ACTH through blood to adrenal cortex, cortisol. Prolonged stress leads the segregation of the adrenal hormones cortisol. Cortisol stress hormone elevates blood sugar and increases metabolism. Body is then able to sustain prolonged activity. Also reduce inflammation. HP axis in central stress response system. You see the picture in your memory. Stressors: hypothalamus, CRH, pituitary, ACTH, and then adrenal. It creates cortisol in blood. It inhibits the thalamus. HP axis in central stress response system. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is our central stress response system. The HPA axis is an eloquent and every dynamic intervening of the central nervous system and endocrine system. HPA axis in central stress response system. The pituitary gland senses that the cortisol level are now adequate and ACTH production slow. Pituitary gland, adrenal gland and kidney. HPA axis in central stress response system. The system works in a fairly straight forward manner. HPA axis is responsible for the neuroendocrine adaptation component of the stress response. The response is characterized by hypothalamic release of corticotrophin releasing factor. CRF is also known as CRH or corticotrophin releasing hormone. You see, this is same. CRF and CRH is same. You think when CRF bind to CRF receptors on the anterior pituitary gland, you see, this is the anterior pituitary gland. You memorize it. Adrenocorticotropic hormones ACTH is released. ACTH binds to receptors on the adrenal cortex and stimulates adrenal release of cortisol. In response to stressor, cortisol will be released for several hours after encountering the stressor. At a certain blood concentration of cortisol, this protection is ostensible achieved and the cortisol exerts negative feedback to the hypothalamic release of CRF and the pituitary release of ACTH. Negative feedback. At this point, systemic homeostasis returns. You see, stress response, hypothalamus, corticotrophin releasing hormone, CRH, pituitary, ACTH, adrenocorticotrophin hormones, adrenal glands, and produce cortisol, and reach the hypothalamus, return back. In the previous picture, you see, this is a descriptive in the word. In the previous pictures, you see, some persons memorize the picture, some person memorize with lettering. What you adopt, you think that is best, you like, you do in the same as in your examination and reproduce in the examination paper. Flow of ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone axis. You see, first you see the perception of stressor. It creates signals to stimulate hypothalamus. Hypothalamus release corticotrophin releasing factor CRH. CRF sent to pituitary gland in turn stimulates anterior pituitary cells. ACTS released to the bloodstream. ACTS stimulates the cells in our layer of adrenal gland. Adrenocortical cells secrete corticoid hormones such as cortisol. Cortisol promotes glucose formation by breaking fats and protein. Overactivity. The above impairs body's defense to infection. Stress response. You can see first hypothalamus producing CRH and stimulate pituitary gland in the front anterior of the pituitary gland. ACTH produce and cortisol making to immune system and then going to the hypothalamus. Repeated back, go to hypothalamus. HPA axis in central stress response system. With repeated exposure to stressor, the organism habituated to the stressor with repeated and sustained HPA axis activation. Therefore, it is important to support healthy cortisol level in order to ensure the hypothalamus and pituitary gland maintain the appropriate level of sensitivity to the negative feedback of cortisol. Secretion of alarm chemicals such as epinephrine and norepiperine from the adrenal medulla as well as HPA axis activation persist along with the segregation of CRF, ACTH and cortisol. Interestingly, with aging, the hypothalamus and pituitary are less sensitive to negative feedback from cortisol and both ACTH and cortisol level rise as we age. Older women secrete more cortisol in response to stress than do older men. Young women, however, produce lower levels of cortisol in response to stress than to young men. HPA axis systemic endocrine in the positive way, normal diurnal rhythm, hypothalamus stress corticoins and the CRH positive. It hypothalamus create pituitary by the CRH and then pituitary create ACTH and then adrenal cortisol hormonal activity from the feedback to the positive negative feedback to pituitary and then negative to the hypothalamus. Under condition of normal exposure to cortisol, our tissue only experience fleeting glimpse of the alarm catecholamines and cortisol. As we are addressing the various health consequences of stress, it is imperative to also address the axis of response itself. Restoring homeostasis to the HPA axis is the primary goal of integrative care. Okay, now we go to the next topic, general adaptation syndrome. GAS is the three-stage process that describe the physiological changes the body goes through when under stress. Hans Sayel, trusted source, a medical doctor and researcher, came up with the theory of gas during an experiment with the lab rats at McGill University in Montreal. Observed a series of physiological changes in the rats after they were exposed to stressful event. With the additional research, Sayel concluded that these changes were not an isolated case, but rather the typical response to stress. Cell identify these stages as alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. Understanding these different responses and how they relate to each other may help you cope with stress. You see general adaptation syndrome, Hansen, and the picture you see stress curve and phase. General adaptation syndrome. You see in the good health, what is the green color you see? Homeostasis. What is the nature of the person living here? Good health. What the in the graph you see? Good health you see. In this theory, in this picture you see alarm stage. The time is alarm stage. Some of the first stage. Second, resistance stage. You resist the stress. Second stage. Third stage, exhaustion stage. This is the panic. This is your panic place lost in. This is the breakdown or burnout. You see the burnout last stage. You see panic zone. It's the panic zone, and then last breakdown or the burnout place. The last one, you see the stress is most is we call this burnout. General adaptation syndrome, it is a picturize this one. Alarm stage, resistance stage, exhaustion stage. Stress responses, general adaptation syndrome, yes, alarm reaction, stage of resistance, stage of exhaustion. Stress creative or destructive. Performance and arousal, healthy tension, anabolic, intended performance, fatigue, exhaustion, actual performance. The catabolic performance, actual performance, the last you see breakdown, ill health. You can optimal level is it is a creative one. Hansen model of stress, general adaptation syndrome, gas alarm reaction. The alarm reaction stage referred to the initial symptoms the body experience when under stress. You may be familiar with the fight or flight response, which is a physiological response to stress. This natural reaction prepares you to either flee or protect yourself in dangerous situation. Your heart rate increase, your adrenal gland release cortisol, a stress hormone, and you receive a boost of adrenaline, which increases energy. This fight or flight response occurs in the alarm reaction stage. The next stage of resistance, after the initial shock of a stressful event and having a fight or flight response, the body begins to repair itself. It releases a lower amount of cortisol and your heart rate and blood pressure begin to normalize. Although your body enters the recovery phase, it remains on the high alert for a while. If you overcome stress and the situation is no longer an issue, your body continues to repair itself until your hormones levels, heart rate and blood pressure reach a pre-stress state. General resistance. Stages of resistance. The third stage, some stressful situation continue for extended periods of time. If you don't resolve the stress and your body remains on high alert, it eventually adapt and learn how to live with the higher stress level. In this stage, the body goes through changes that you are unaware of in an attempt to cope with the stress. The body continues to segregates the stress hormones and your blood pressure remains elevated. You may think you are managing stress well. But your body is physical response tells a different story. If the resistance stage continue for long a period without a pause to offset the effort of stress, this can lead to exhaustion stage. Hansel model of stress, you see general adaptation syndrome, gas, stage of resistance. Sign of resistance stage include irritability, frustration, poor concentration. Stage of exhaustion, we can study repeatedly because you are in the memories this picture and the contents we reproduce repeated here. This stage is result of prolonged or chronic stress. Struggling with stress for long period can drain your physical, emotional and mental resource to the point where your body no longer has strength or fight stress. You may give up or feel your situation is hopeless. Sign of exhaustion include fatigue, burnout, depression, anxiety, decreased stress tolerance. The physical effects of this stage also weaken your immune system and put you at risk for stress related illness. Research has indicated that 70% of human disease are stress prone disorders. They are mainly caused due to the mental and emotional strains. When does general adaptation syndrome occur? Guess can occur with any type of stress. Stressful event can include a job loss, medical problems, financial troubles, family breakdown, trauma. But while stress is unpleasant, the upside is that gas improve how your body responds to stressors, particularly in the alarm stage. When does general adaptation syndrome occur? The fight or flight response that occurs in the alarm stage is for your protection. A higher hormone level during this stage benefits you. It gives you more energy and improve your concentration. So you can focus and tackle the situation. When stress is short term or short lived, the alarm stage is not harmful. This is not the case with the prolonged stress. The longer you deal with stress, the more harmful it is to your health. You also don't want to remain in the resistance stage for too long and risk entering the exhaustion stage. Once you are in the exhaust stage, prolonged stress raises the risk for chronic heel blood pressure, stroke, heart and disease, and depression. You also have a higher risk for infection and cancer due to weaker immune system. The takeaway, since it is not possible to eliminate every stressor, it is important to find way to cope with stress. Knowing the sign and stages of stress can help you take appropriate steps to manage your stress level and lower your risk of complications. It is essential for your body to repair and recover during the resistance stage. If not, your risk for exhaustion rises. If you cannot eliminate the stressful event, regular exercise can help you cope and maintain a healthy stress level. Other techniques for stress management include meditation and deep breathing exercise. The next theory we go, Lazarus-Folkman transactional model of stress. The founders is Lazarus and Folkman. Lazarus and Folkman define stress as relationship between the person and the environment that is appraised by the person as taxing or exceeding his or her resource and endangering his or well-being. Precipitating event in a stimulus arising from the internal or external environment and is perceived by the individual in a specific manner. Determination that the particular person or environment relationship is stressful depends on the individual's cognitive appraisal of the situation. Cognitive appraisal is an individual's evaluation of the personal significance of the event or occurrence. The event precipitates a response on the part of individual, and the response is influenced by the individual's perception of the event. The cognitive response consists of primary appraisal and secondary appraisal. Individual's perception of the event. Primary appraisal. Lazarus and Folkman identify three types of primary appraisal: irrelevant, vague, positive, and stressful. An event is judged relevant when the outcome holds no significance for the individual. A vague positive outcome is perceived as producing pleasure for the individual. Stress appraisal include harm or loss, threat, and a challenge. Hormone loss appropriate refer to damage or loss already experienced by the individual. Appraisal of a threatening nature are perceived as anticipate harm and loss. When event in appraised as challenging, the individual focus or potential for gain or growth rather than on risk associated with the event. Individual's perception of the event. Secondary appraisal. The secondary appraisal is an assessment of skill, resource, the knowledge that a person possesses to deal with the situation. The individual evaluates by considering the following: what coping strategies are available to me? Will the option I choose be effective in this situation? Do I have the able to use that strategy in an effective manner? This interaction between the primary appraisal of the event that has occurred in the secondary appraisal of available coping strategies determine the individual's quality of adaptation response to stress. In the Lazarus-Folkman transactional model of stress and coping, repeatedly we study this one. Transaction interaction occurs between a person and the environment. Stress results from an imbalance between demands and resource. Thus we became stressed when demands pressure exceeds our resource, our ability to cope and mediate stress. Thus the interpretation of the stressful event was more important than the event itself. Primary appraisal. Consider whether the person has personal stake in encounter or their goal dissatisfied. Evaluate the significance of the encounter which either has no significance for person. Is a begin positive encounter desirable, harmful, threatening, challenging. Primary appraisal. Harm loss that has occurred so far. Threat, potential future harm. Challenges, how can we gain confidence from this experience? Secondary appraisal. Individual will then engage in secondary appraisal to work out how we can best deal with the situation and change undesirable conditions. Evaluate internal or external coping option as well as more especially resource to create a more positive environment. Internal option example willpower, inner strength. External option peace, professional health. Thus it may become a reappraisal of stressor and our coping resource. Problem based coping used when we feel have control of the situation, thus can manage the source of the problem. Thus our possible strategies good includes defining the problem, generating, evaluating alternative solution, learn new skills to manage stress or reappraising by reducing our ego involvement. Emotional based coping used when we feel we have little control of the situation, thus we cannot manage the source of the problem. Involves gaining strategies for regulating emotional distress. Example, avoiding I am not going to school. Distancing yourself from the emotion. I am not stressed. It does not matter. Acceptance. I failed to the exam, but I still have 4 other subjects. Seeking emotional support from your partner. Selective attention. Alcohol. Venting anger. Some of these coping. Strength and weakness of model. Strength, it consider cognitive approaches and opposed to fight flight approach. Gas, controlled by autonomic nervous system. It is a dynamic model. If a factor in the ability of the individual to change their appraisal and thus their response, it caters for individual difference. The manner in which we appraise and cope with the stressor varies enormously. Identify alternative methods for managing psychological response to stressor. In the weakness in the theory, lack of empirical evidence, overlap of primary and secondary appraisal, they are interdependent. Difficulty to label factors that determine stress. Okay, thank you, student. In these topics, we learn these 3 topics, subtopics we learn now. General adaptation syndrome by the Hansel. This is important. A question will come. And then HPA axis. How to in this react in the central stress system. You see, you can also study it well. Okay, thank you.